YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for BoonBoomger episode 11. So this was another, as the title's going to say, fine episode. I think a little bit more of sort of substance happens this week, but it was kind of more of a filler episode at the same time. Not that it was bad, it was overall enjoyable enough. You know, I'm still enjoying the series. My enthusiasm's waning a little bit, not in an overall negative way, but the pacing has been slowed down a little bit. Obviously, next week we have the unfortunate crossover, which we'll talk about at the end. But this week's premise kind of had one of those episodes which I feel like we've gotten a couple of. Maybe at least one, but it feels like we've gotten a couple where you have Taiya off to the side and then the others doing their own thing as well. Because Taiya's main plot involves us getting a little bit of backstory about him, about this rich client he had, which was sort of a mentor to him. One of his first major clients is a delivery person who has this mission for him to deliver this little toy plush, which is a bit of meta marketing since that was a toy they actually sell, or a plush they actually sell. And it's a nice little mini storyline, gives us a little insight into Taiya. You have a nice sweet little moment at the end of him delivering it in costume, and then his mentor discovers, like, oh yeah, he must be Boon Red. I did think there was going to be something more sinister because they have this scene of him on the phone, and he's like got his back turned. One of those scenes where there's going to be like a phone call reveal, and he like clearly is like, oh, I understand he's Boon Red, but I thought it was going to be more sinister, like he was somehow evil, which I actually kind of wish happened because it would have been something more interesting. But as is, that storyline was overall decently enjoyable, nice little storyline for the side. Then for the main characters, it involves the introduction of this new main villain, or this new villain that's going to be around at least for now, a new general now that Mad Rex is off the board. And I like him fine. I like his design. Like, in general, I've spoken all the reviews how I really like the monster designs in this series, and I do like his design, and it is nice to have kind of a more driven villain, I guess, but I did prefer Mad Rex. Like, this guy's kind of more those kind of quirky, annoying villain. Kind of reminds me of Weisel. Like, I'm just not a fan of that type of villain. I definitely prefer a Mad Rex badass type that doesn't do a roll call. I prefer the type like Mad Rex that's like judging Boon Red for saying his name out loud. That's weird. It's weird. Have him introduced, and he introduces a new monster, and that's what the other four Rangers are fighting, and it leads to this thing where it's like one of those situations where the Rangers are kind of out of control. The only ones that aren't out of control is Orange of that group, and then Red when he shows up at the end, or again near the end, I guess, and they fight against them. And as always, really good fight scenes in the series, always keeps me entertained. My favorite part of this week was probably the brief, like, mini civilian fight where they fight when they're like morphing, when they're fighting, and they're using the changers like the Bookenders did, where they, you know, slash it against something like the enemy or the ground, and it led to a fun, creative fight. You know, as always, we finish off the villain in the ground and in the sky. The mecha battle. And then all's well as it ends well, and like I said, it ends at the end with that moment with Taiya and the mentor. But yeah, it was a fine episode. There wasn't anything overly negative about it. My only real negative is just, it does feel a little bit weird, and maybe this is more from the marketing and sort of fandom lens standpoint of, we kind of made this big deal, including them releasing posters about this episodes 1 through 9 ending an arc, and it felt like we were going to be starting a new era. I didn't expect BoonBoomger to suddenly become serialized, but I thought the first couple episodes would give us an idea of maybe what we're building towards. Obviously, in that first arc, we were building towards just sort of setting the status quo of the team, but in this, we don't really have a clear direction. We're kind of like end of arc 1, and then we have 2 filler episodes. I know that they weren't completely filler, stuff obviously did happen, but I figured we would have a little bit more of a direction, and it feels a little bit weird. Oddly enough, reminded me of Gotchard in a way where you have this weird lull in the middle of the series, and it just feels like I should have more of an idea where we're going. Maybe the Go-Under thing will set it up, just because I don't know if this was a fan speculation or from some sort of summary, but the idea I heard was that Go On Red was going to be part of the race, so maybe that's going to jumpstart part of the race storyline. I don't know if they're going to be setting that up with all the veteran Sentai Rangers that are returning being part of that big race, and then other ones, who knows. But I'll be honest, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to next week in the sense that I'm secretly hoping it'll surprise me like the Kyoryuger one, but for the most part, I'm not really that excited about an unnecessary crossover. I know they're both car-based, but that's not a good reason for me to do a team-up. It's like, just because something's always been done isn't a good reason to keep doing something. So I would rather that be self-contained to some sort of like special or movie. Like, I wouldn't mind if they wanted to do a V-Cinema special after the series was over, during the series, where they did like all the vehicle Sentai they could get. But I don't know. I'm just not that excited for it. I guess I am excited for something to happen, but you know, that's not my jam. But overall, this week was fine. I definitely hope that after we get past this crossover thing, things pick up to what the pacing felt like in the first 9 episodes, where it wasn't the most serialized, but I felt like there was a little more going on, and I felt like we were heading towards something. But let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments. As always, let me know if you're excited for the Go On Red crossover. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.